Are these numbers sustainable to you?
I actually think Google will continue to have a run, right? The numbers were, as you said, outstanding, and the expectations were high going into the print. But I do think with the reopening of the economy, which some folks don't know this, but they should, that the benefit for ad spending is there. And so, yeah, I think that they'll have a couple of quarters here at this 30% plus level. And the nice thing about this stock relative to some of the other FANGs is last year, even though it had decent performance vis-a-vis the S&P 500, it did underperform most of the other FANGs. And so its valuation coming into 2021 was less demanding, gave it more room for upside. Some of these other stocks had done so well, and their valuations are so expensive that they're really sensitive to any blemish at all in their quarterly reports. But I probably am, after last night's print, what I see going forward for Google, I probably am the most bullish of the FANGs in that name.
Why?
Oh, I just think that there's still upside to the valuation. Some of the other ones are going to be harder to do that. And the growth is fast and accelerating and even above pretty lofty expectations.
All right, let's turn now to Microsoft. It is down a little bit in the pre-market. I mean, it's down a couple percent. But, man, Paul, Microsoft has had a heck of a run. They beat on earnings. They beat on sales. The guidance was good. Cloud segment growing by 50%, 50% in the first quarter. Revenue growth up 19% year over year. The biggest increase since 2018. Market's not respecting it much, down a couple of percent, but I don't want to make too much of it. The stock's been on an absolute monster tear. Are you surprised by this? I mean, Microsoft, can they keep this level of growth up? I mean, are that many people using Excel or Bing or the Zune music player?
It's an excellent question. Now, one of the reasons that the stock looks like it's going to open down 2% now, albeit the stock was up 18% year to date in a market that was up 11%. Because you think about it, with the whole COVID and the remote work, remote play, remote study themes, that they've had a boom, unexpected boom in all things hardware. And so I think one of the things that we all have to wrestle with is, do the good tidings continue at Microsoft? Because remember, before COVID, nobody invested in this company as a hardware story. But now PCs are booming. And can they continue to boom? I think the PC rebirth, let's call it, will have some legs, but that's something to be concerned about. And also, folks look very closely at Azure, the public cloud business. And you're absolutely right. You know, it's growing 50%, but when it comes to these high-value stocks, it's not the change, it is the rate of change. And Azure, I know it sounds unbelievable to say, is starting to slow somewhat. But when it comes to the public cloud, I think we've now seen that it's confirmed to be a three-horse race with Amazon, Microsoft, and Google Cloud coming quickly in third place. So I still like it.
Yeah, I mean, you go to 50 to 45% growth, Paul. I think a lot of companies would like to have that problem. Let's move on, complete the trifecta, shall we? Those numbers are out. We are waiting for Apple. Their numbers are out today after the bell. They've got big expectations as well after posting their biggest quarter ever back in January. But one segment not looking as good, and that is AirPods, if anybody even cares. What are you watching for from Apple? What's going to be the key number tonight?
I think as you look at Apple, it's not only the overall numbers, of course, they should be a slam dunk, up 50% EPS growth, up over 30% revenue growth because they're comparing a very poor quarter from a year ago. But I again want to see how well do we do in some of these mundane, or at least previously mundane businesses like Macs and iPads, because they're really the driver as we roll out 5G and then continue our focus again on the iPhone. And I also want to see, what are they saying? How are they pitching the new privacy measures with iOS 14.5?
Do you think that's going to drive sales, though, Paul, to make the stock more viable because Apple seems a little more serious about privacy? When I say serious, I mean maybe they're the only ones that care about it among the big technology companies. Is that going to move the needle on Apple, make it more investable?
Well, I actually do think that they'll make the case that this will be a driver, right? Out of all the major tech platforms, and maybe they're uniquely suited to be able to do this, and it might be disingenuous, it might be marketing spin, but they are the safer platform. They are protecting your data. They are not a advertising-fueled business. Of course, you know, that might be just bad-mouthing, essentially, indirectly, Facebook and Google. But I do think they'll try to make quite a splash. And, of course, I think they do it at the end of the day to drive incremental sales, earnings, and cash flow.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.